I would like to welcome everybody to our special Baomer, pre-Lag Baomer shiur. Tonight's shiur dedicated לעילוי נשמת רבקה בת שיינה, רוח השם תניחנה בגן עדן, ותהיה נשמתה צפורה בצרור החיים. Also for the הזכרה of Uncle Shlomo ben Chaim, רוח השם תניחנה בגן עדן. להבדיל, we want to wish חיים טובים, ארוכים, רפואה שלמה. for כל עם ישראל, בפרט גבריאל אינום בת לאה מלכה, אלישע בת שבע בת רבקה, קלודין אמם תיגור ז'וני בת רוזט, קלודין בת חנה ורחמה, כל עם ישראל, תן הרפן עליהם, ורפואת הנפש, ורפואת הגוף, ורפואה קרובה לבא. זכות התורה, the shiur tonight that we will study should be רפואה שלמה בעזרת השם for all of עם ישראל. So I'm very excited tonight for Lag Baomer, tomorrow. So I'm going to divide the shiur. First half, we're going to talk about the parasha. Second half, talk a little bit about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Meron and Lag Baomer. Do a few stories of about Rabbi Shimon, and then we'll do halacha afterwards. So first, I want to speak about the Omer. Well, this week's parasha, Emor Kohanim. The beginning talks about azarot for the Kohanim. The Kohanim needs to be pure in their avodah, not to come when they're tameh, impure to the service of God. In the second half of the parasha, talks about Ele Moadei Hashem Mikra Kodesh. Asher tikru otam b'moadam. That's the kiddush we say on the Chagim. And in fact, the parasha talks about all of the Chagim, starting from Pesach and the Shavuot, and it goes on to the other Chagim. What is interesting, I want to bring your attention to a beautiful piece I read in one of my favorite Sfarim. This is what I'm sharing with you tonight, based on the teachings of the Netivot Shalom. This is what it looks like on the back, and this is the front. That's what we're going to study today. I'm going to make it all nice and simplified in English, but give me a new insight into the parasha of the Omer. What in fact is the Omer? Well, we're counting every day for 49 days. But what is it in the Torah? What is it all about? So the pasuk says, "Ve'kravtem ishel Hashem." You will bring forward a fire to Hashem for 7 days. B'yom hashvi'i mikra kodesh. 1 second, wrong pasuk. Excuse me. Yeah. After the Torah talks about Chag Pesach, the next episode is the episode of the Omer. What is the Omer? So the Torah tells us, when you come into the land, tell the Bnei Yisrael, Ki tavou el aretz, when you come to the land, Asher ani noten lachem, Eretz Yisrael, uktzartem et kitzira. You harvest the field, the produce. Ve'avetem et ha'omer, and you bring the Omer. What is the Omer? Reshit kitzirchem el hakohen. The first harvest of the crop, you bring to the Kohen. Now, what does that sound like? Which mitzvah? Similar to
Maaser.
Similar to Maaser, but the first. What's the first of the crop? What produce was the first one that you bring to the Kohen?
Bikurim.
Excellent, Bikurim. Bikurim is the first fruits, dafka specifically of the 7 Shivat Aminim. Pomegranates, te'anim, dates, olives, grapes. That's we bring Bikurim. When is Bikurim? When do we do Bikurim?
Shavuot.
Excellent. Chag Shavuot coming up soon in about 2 or 3 weeks. Chag Shavuot. So, but here it's not looking what to do with Shavuot. It's completely different offering, and we're going to discuss it today and what we can learn from it nowadays when we're done. What's the purpose of this Omer? So you bring minchat seorim. Seorim, what is seorim in English? Seorim is barley. You bring the first barley and you bring it to the Kohen. And then he does something very interesting and unusual. Does anybody know what the Kohen does with this barley, with this seorah? What does he do with it? Torah says, what does Torah say? Already the pasuk. Vehenif et ha'omer lifnei Hashem. What does it mean, vehenif? Henif et ha'omer lifnei Hashem lirtzonchem mimacharat ha'shabbat yenifen ha'kohen. The day after Pesach, Torah tells us something very peculiar. You bring the first harvest. So I understand the concept of bring your first fruit to the Kohen. But then what does the Kohen do? V'hinif et ha'omer lifnei Hashem. What's hinif?
It's like
And if it's to wave, like you wave a flag. You're taking a flag and you're waving it. This is the flag. It's very strange behavior. We expect a little bit more from the Kohen. You're like waving like a little flag, like a child. What's the waving about? והניף את העומר לפני השם לרצונכם ממחרת השבת יניפנו הכהן. So that's question number one. What's all the act of waving of the barley? ועשיתם ביום הניפכם את העומר כבש תמימים בין שנתו לעולה להשם. Together with this waving, you're offering up a normal korban כבש. Makes sense. That's normal. And then the Torah continues. וספרתם לכם. Count for yourselves. ממחרת השבת from the next days. מיום הביאכם את העומר. Directly after you do the whole waving with the barley. הביאכם את העומר התנופה. 7 שבתות תמימות תהיינה. You count 7 weeks.
לא, רבי נתנאל, I read that they were actually doing the קציר of של עומר התנופה בלילה.
Okay. So what's the question?
But when it happened that the הנפה? ביום?
So this is what the Torah says, ממחרת השבת. So it could be the Ketzir was at night, וקצרתם את הקצירכם, והבאתם את העומר, and then it says, ממחרת השבת יניפנו הכהן. From that day onwards, the day after Pesach, we can't start counting the Omer. That's what the Torah tells us to do.
Okay.
ממחרת השבת, מiyom, from the day you bring the korban Omer offering, very important mitzvah, which we still do today, and we count it tonight, is the third, 32 יום לעומר, שהם 4 שבועות, That's tonight. 7 שבתות תמימות. You need to count 7 complete weeks. עד ממחרת השבת השביעית תספרו 50 יום. Count 50 days. 7 weeks, 50 days. והקרבתם מנחה חדשה להשם. And then it's going to be a new korban. What's the new korban? ממושבותיכם תביאו לחם. You being bread. תנופה. What's תנופה? Waving. 2 bread, 2 עשרונים סולת תהיינה חמץ, תאפנה ביקורים להשם. Then that is called מנחה ראשונה מביקורים להשם. Okay. Now we're going to get a little bit, ask a few questions. And then try and understand a little bit deeper. What is the Torah trying to tell us? What does it want from us? And what is our purpose in this period of time in the Sfirat Omer? What are we supposed to be doing? And really, what is our purpose of the Chagim? We're getting ready for when Omer, soon going to be Chag HaShavuot, which is really the peak of Matan Torah. And here, we're playing with barley and bread, and we're waving it around, and we're counting. And what's the counting of here? So let's speak clearly about what the questions are. Okay, so let's just get clear. What are we talking about? The day after Pesach, everything is harvested. The first crop of the barley is harvested. We bring it to the Kohen. Kohen gives it a wave. Okay, we wave it. Then the next day we start counting for 50 days until Chag HaShavuot. Chag HaShavuot, we bring 2 loaves of bread. We lift it up. Tenufa, 2 and tiyena chametz te'afena bikurim la'Hashem. That's what he says. והניף אותם על לחם הביקורים תנופה לפני השם. And then Torah says, קראתם בעצם על זה, you call this day מקרא קודש, will be a holy day for you, חג השבועות. Okay, and then we start talking about the חגים. The Torah goes back to talk about the different חגים. חג הסוכות, חג השבועות, אלה מועדי השם. All right. Okay, so far it's clear. Everything's clear for everybody. I only see Gilad nodding. Is there anyone else with me? Because here we're going to get deeper. This is the basic level. You're on it, Joe. No, thank you. Okay. So let's go a little bit deeper. So question number 1 is what is Omer got to do with the Chagim? Why are we sticking it in the middle? Now, chronologically, it does fit in because this is the time when it happens. But if the Torah groups the Chagim together, right? Pesach and Shavuot and Sukkot, there's a lot of other events which happen in between. We're not talking about chronological events over here. We're talking about themes. Okay, these are the Chagim. So there's got to be a more direct connection between these two offerings to the Chag of, or all the Chagim? Question number one. Question number two is, why do we really call it Sfirat Omer? Counting of the Omer. We don't really count anything to do with the Omer. The Omer is way at the beginning. After you finish the Omer, then you start counting the Omer. All right, that doesn't really make sense to me. And how do you, we always learn that the counting of the Omer is built up to Chag HaShavuot, right? That's what we're taught. That's what we learn. But at the end of the Omer, that's Chag HaShavuot, Matan Torah. And here the Torah actually calls the name of Sfirat Omer corresponding to the offering that we finished. After we finished offering it up, then we start counting in 49 days. So it seems there is a connection between the counting of the Omer and the Omer, otherwise it wouldn't be called that. So what is that connection? And what do we need to learn from that? The fact that we're offering up this body. Okay, second of all, it seems that there is a connection between the two breads. The bread that's offered up. We offer up bread on Chag HaShavuot. And that's got to do with the wheat. What's the wheat? The barley. It's not bread, it's just barley. And at the end, we don't offer wheat, we offer bread. So there's a few differences between these two offerings. Right? One's in the beginning, one at the end. The second difference, one is barley and one is wheat. That's the second difference. Another difference is the barley is waved by the Kohen whole, whereas the bread, it's baked and it's waved by the Kohen. Rashi says there's a difference in the waving. What is the waving? Where else in the Torah do we see v'hinaftem?
So there is a מילואים, את חזה התנופה.
תנופה, נכון. What else do we see by? What else do we see by? Specific to תנופה of והניף אהרון את הלוויים, תנופה לפני השם. The waving of the Levim. What's the waving? So I said like it's waving like a flag, which is it's not entirely accurate. What do I mean? Any if you can mean like waving a flag, but here specifically there's a specific order of how you wave, right? You don't just wave how you want. There's halakha how to wave. Yeah, we're not talking about that how to wave. Rashi says, tenufa. Look at this. You see the beauty of our Torah. Kol tenufa is a process. Molich u'mavi, male u'morid. מוליך ומביא לעצור רוחות רעות, מלא ומוריד לעצור צללים רעים. So almost like the waving of the lulav. Lulav. It's in the four directions, okay, and up and down. So imagine you got the lulav. Instead of lulav, he's holding the barley, and he's doing lulav with the barley, okay? That's tenufa regarding the Omer. But when it talks about the tenufa of the bread, of the lechem, of the shtei lechem, which is offered up on Chag HaShavuot, it says tenufa shtayim lechem bikurim laHashem. And here Rashi says, doesn't say you wave it like a lulav. He says tenufa, that means you lift it up. Lechem turuma hameromam l'shem gavoa. Lift it up for to the heights, talking to representing giving up to Hashem. That's like you just lifting it up. Different kind of tenufa. And here he calls it bikurim. Now, this question of bikurim, I want to understand. Where is the parasha of bikurim in the Torah? In Sefer Devarim. Okay? That is where bikurim is mentioned. So if this is a type of bikurim, it should be mentioned with the bikurim, not with the chagim. Okay? First question. The second question is, bikurim is only mentioned regarding the shtei lechem, which is the offering on Shavuot. By the Omer, it doesn't say bikurim. Now that is a striking question because that is exactly the same as bikurim. It's the first of crop of barley. You offer it up, you bring it to the Kohen. It's exactly like bikurim. And it happens, similar time to all of the bikurim. So it seems to be like only Chag HaShavuot is bikurim. The shtei lechem is bikurim. The actual bikurim which you bring is the first. Bikurim means the first. First bikur is the first fruits. Literally.
But the bikurim in Sefer Dvarim is not. You don't bring the bikurim of Sefer Dvarim in Shavuot.
Why? That's the Chag of Bikurim. With first brings it up.
Everything, all the Bikurim that you have.
All the Bikurim is brought up in Chag HaShavuot. That's what you bring to the Kohen. It's mentioned in Parashat Devarim. Now, Bikurim means the first of the fruits, like Bechor. Bechor is the first. Bikur, and that brings a person bracha. When you bring your, like, it's the same concept.
Arami Oved Avi and so on and so forth.
Yes, that's the vidui of the Bikurim.
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
Yes, absolutely, it's the same thing. So here, with the concept of Bikurim is a concept of bracha. Why? Because you're saying the first thing that I have, I'm going to give it to Hashem, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything is from Him. The first fruits I give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the first of my field, my firstborn son, I'm going to give also to HaKadosh Baruch Hu Pidyon Haben. And that's the concept of Barakah. See the letter, please. The letter of the letters of the word Bechor, of Bracha, is the same letters. Bracha, because it doubles. Bet is 2. Chaf is 20, and Resh is 200. So you're doubling. That's doubling your bracha. So that is how. Sorry, wait, I just lost my track of thought. Yes, we're talking about Bikurim. So Bikurim is bringing your bracha to Hashem. Yeah, so can I just ask the host, someone wants to join the shiur, if we can allow them in. Thank you. Please mute. Thank you. Where am I? Bikurim, yeah. So Bikurim is the first fruit, that's the bracha, that's the bechor, that's the doubling. So if the Omer is the first crop which you bring up, that's also Bikurim. Why is that not called Bikurim? And that's born in Omer. So we've got a lot of questions. What's the connection between the two? And this is how it opens up the Sefer of Retivot Shalom. Okay. Should we just summarize the question again, or is it clear? It's clear, no? What is the two differences? Why is it different in the waving, in the beginning and the end? Why is the beginning barley, at the end is wheat? The beginning is a crop, the end is bread. The beginning, it's called the Omer. It's not, why it's not called Bikurim, and it really is the first crop, and the end is only called Bikurim. What's the deeper meaning behind it, and what is the connection to the Chagim? All these questions we asked, Hashem will be answered with really one answer. But the concept is what we want to learn from today. That's what the Torah is trying to teach us. So he says it's the Netivot Shalom. He learns it from his father. He said his father used to say this every year in this Firat Omer. And the concept is Adam u'behemat Hoshia, which means Hashem will save man and an animal. So the first idea is, what is the food of Soa? Who do you give barley to? Barley is animal food. It represents animalistic nature. And the contrary, wheat is chita. That's why you make bread. That is human food. Human food. Machal Adam. He said, what is the whole point of the Sfirat Omer?
That's the transition. That's the transition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now you're getting it. You're getting it. Yeah. Chag Pesach is where it all starts. That is the birth of Am Yisrael as a nation. That's how we're born. When we're born as a child, well, we're just an animal. We just eat, sleep. Yeah, that's what we do. We do nothing as a baby. But when you grow, you realize that there's much more to life, and there's a depth in between it. You have an neshama. You're a man. So here's the process of going from animal to man. What's the animalistic nature that you have for ta'avod, for this world? Get involved in this world. You get involved, you get carried away, you forget yourself, think I'm going to be here forever. It doesn't go like that. That's not what life is. Everyone knows that there's much more to it. So what is the Omer coming to represent? When we wave it, what do we wave it? We lift it up and down, all four corners. We're saying, listen, we have to detach ourselves, that animalistic side of us, which getting involved in this world, which has four corners, and we have to lift it up, detach ourselves up and down. That's the whole waving about. The Kohen is taking this body. He said, don't get too attached to this body. He's going to wave it up and down. He said, that is what we're doing here. This is the concept. And that's the same thing that we do with the Leviim. Who was the Leviim? Leviim was the men in the service of God, right? I had a PE teacher in school. It was a guy. And I met him after I left school. I said, wait, what happened to you? I said, I joined yeshiva. I'm learning Torah. I'm learning in yeshiva. And he was not Jewish. He said to me, you joined the God Squad. He was a PE teacher. And he said, you joined the God Squad. Yeah, that is the Leviim. Leviim was the service of God. Now, what was the inauguration process? In order for them to be anointed as Leviim, Aaron took them and he waved them. What does he mean he waved them? He didn't wave them like a flag, but he lifted them up. And like he did with lulav, move them up four corners. Why? What does that represent? So you are leaving now this world. Everyone here is involved in the land, in the inheritance, in the building, and in their businesses, developing. That's not your job. You are Levi, you're detached. Levi is only in the service of Bet HaMikdash. Okay, you don't even have your own land in Eretz Yisrael. You depend on the support of the Ma'asrot from all of Am Yisrael. But you are pure for Hashem. You have to be detached completely. Now that's for the Levim. What about everyone else in Am Yisrael? We're all of us, we're all of the Hashem. We're all Jews, even if we're not Kohanim, we're not Levim. This is the time of the Omer, Sfirat Omer. We don't get too attached to our mundane, our gashmiyat, our worldly pleasures. And this is the purpose of the Omer, to lift us up. Tnufa, this is the main part of the mitzvah, that a Jew needs to understand. He needs to wave himself off from all these things and the worldly pleasures and realize they're all temporary. That's why the Ramban, he says that all the period of time of the Sfirat Omer is like one big Chol HaMoed. The whole Chagim is connected. You've got the beginning, you've got Chag HaPesach, the end is Chag HaShavuot. And in the beginning, it's all a process. What is the process? We said it's counting. What are you counting? You are counting as a preparation for Chag Matan Torah, for receiving the Torah. So why is it called Sefirat Omer? Why is it connected to the Omer, which you already finished? We did that on the first day, it's over. So in a way, it's over, but in a way, it's the beginning. That's the opening. We opened it by waving ourselves away from representing of all our nefesh habehemi, our animalistic side of us. We lifted that away. We detached ourselves from it. And then we start counting day one. We're 1 day away, 2 days away. We're 1 week and 2 days away. We're 3 weeks and 4 days away. And that's how we build ourselves to separate ourselves from the egoistic, animalistic self and pleasures. And we come to lift ourselves up. To be ready to accept the Torah, which is we took from Shamayim, from the angels. And this is what we remember, these two things. So according to this, we say that Omer was specifically in the time of the Chagim. Because what is the whole purpose of the Chagim? What does the Torah tell us? לא ניתנו שבת וימים טובים לעם ישראל, אלא לעסוק בהם בתורה. The whole point of the Chagim is that you have a day of work. What's the point of day of work? So you be with the family, you be with the community. But still you spare time. You got extra hours to learn. No time for work. We switch off the phones. We switch off the business. Yeah. We don't have a shiur on Zoom, but there's other ways to learn Torah. Ways to learn Torah. But really, it's let's say a springboard. The time of the Chagim is a special time that we can elevate ourselves. Not just spare time to learn. There's Zman Mesugal that we can actually raise ourselves higher in our neshama. And this is the time of the Moadim. So, in the beginning, it's called Rashit Ketzechem. It's not called Bikurim. Why? Bikurim la Hashem is something which we bring into HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But at the time of the Omer, we're still inside us like it's the beginning of we're just still on the level of Tumah. In Pesach, we leave from the 49th level of Tumah, And we try and build that to Chag HaShavuot. So in the beginning, we still have the level of the Tumah of the Behemah inside us. That's already not called Bikurim LaHashem yet. We have to take 49 steps, getting away from that, before we can bring it on Chag HaShavuot. So that is where, only when it comes to Chag HaShavuot, that becomes Adam. That's what it says, from when your dwelling place. That's where you bring bread. That's why it's called Tenufah. Shtayim Bikurim LaHashem. And that's why you bring the days of Yom Bikurim. Because that is a special day for Hashem. The first time that we're after Yetziat Mitzrayim, when we reach the peak, when Am Yisrael has reached the level of the high level of Bikurim LaHashem, that we can come and bring offerings to God. He said, listen, Hashem, we've left our animalistic. We're not Behemah anymore. We've become more attached to our Neshama side of us. Now we can accept our offering. Now it becomes a Bikurim. Before, where your animal bringing me now korbanot. You have to work on yourself to live it. We're studying Pirkei Avot. We're studying Torah. Every day we go up a level. We show Hashem that we're making a change. Person who comes to Shiur Torah is not the same as before the Shiur Torah as he's after. You're elevated. You walk out of the Shiur with your head up high. I'm now a better person. I studied Torah for the past hour. So when we build up to that level, we are now closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and now we can bring in the bread of humans. Now you become a Ben Adam. Now you become a man. Human of what Hashem wanted you to be. Now you can bring the Shtei Alechem. So this is the connection between the two things. And the same thing is also with we said by the Leviim, same concept. Now we asked why by the Shtei Alechem doesn't have this full waving. Why is it different waving? We said the lulav of action is only the beginning by the Omer. By the Shtei Alechem, when you're offering the two breads, it's just the elevating. Now it makes sense. Because in the beginning, we're representing separating from the worldly pleasures, separating from the mundane side, from the animalistic side. So that needs four sides, all corners, separating from the world. But when it comes to Chag HaShavuot, we already made it there. So that's just Tenufah lifting it up. It's a different type of Tenufah. And that's what represented to us. Harama, Truma, elevating, lifting ourselves up. Now when we say we're talking about separating ourselves from the Gashmiut, from the mundane level and coming higher. In this period of time, what are we supposed to be thinking about? Okay, we're in the year 2021. Right? We're living in Hendon or Gold Screen or Israel. We don't have the Korban Tenufah. There's no Kohen waving around. What do we have? We have Zoom and we have the parasha that we can still study. But what does Hashem want from us? What are we supposed to be doing? And this is the purpose of the share. Well, let's take the same concept. And as we study, we can build it into our lives. Okay? A person thinks, I want to get better for my Yetzer Hara. What am I supposed to be working on? So a person naturally, the easy things, what's easier for him, he does the easy things. Okay, this is easy for me, and it's different for everyone else. You know what I find easy, someone else will find hard, something else will find what I find hard, someone else will find easy. Everyone's got their own issues in life. Now, the nature, we do the easy things. Hard things are hard. No one likes to work hard, right? Unless you have to, and if it's gonna pay off. Okay, that's really how it works. That's the nature of the things. So said the Slonim, look at his beauty. Pasuk says, Adam ki yakriv became korban laHashem. Let's translate. That means a man when he brings a korban to Hashem. That's a loose translation. But if you accurately translate it, lakriv korban laHashem, it says ki yakriv mikem korban laHashem. What's mikem? From within you. You have to offer up from within you. You have to offer up something from yourself. That means what is difficult for me, that's what I'm going to give to Hashem. What's most important? What does Hashem want the most? I want you. Hashem says, you are important to me. And I want you to give me your korban. And this is what is most important for me. Mikem. Rashi Tevot, listen to this Rashi Tevot, Mikem, Mem, Chaf, Mem. Can you guess it? Midah, Keneged Midah. That means the Midah, whatever you find the most difficult, That's what I want to offer up to Hashem. Okay, so some people find eating kosher difficult. That's what Hashem wants. Some people find where going to tefillah, that's the most difficult. Okay. Some find it difficult to keep quiet, not to talk. Yeah, that's your job. That's what Hashem wants from you. In the time of the Sphira, this is the holy days. Sphira Omer. Every Jew needs to take out the side of the Baomer from him as a continuation, an offering of Yetziat Mitzrayim, and giving that to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how you receive the Torah. And the main purpose of Yetziat Mitzrayim is Anosh Hashem Elokecha. I took you out of Mitzrayim. We said Mitzrayim is Mitzarim, boundaries. Now we all have our boundaries. That means what constrains us, what binds us. Okay, we are addicted to certain things that we used to. And now we need to break out of them. Free. Said Hashem, no, I'm not doing this for you. For Hashem, because that's important for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Every Shabbat and every Yom Tov is an escape of Zecher L'Yetziat Mitzrayim. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We turn off the phones. We turn off the business. We don't touch our laptops. We don't drive our cars. Now, why is that? That is Yetziat Mitzrayim. You go out of that, what you're used to, and you give it to Hashem. And that is all really working on your internal midot. Not got to do with technically what your action is. It's got to do with the inside, giving yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is the main purpose of all the Chagim and Yamim Tovim. And when a Jew really wants to leave his Mitzrayim, and then he elevates himself and takes him out of all the things, then Hashem helps him. And that's why Hashem gives these days. These are days of help. If a person wants to become pure in these days, he gets special Siyata Dishmaya. What do I mean by Siyata Dishmaya? It means Abba Letaher Mesailum. You want to be good, and every Rambam says every Jew deep down wants to do the right thing. Now you say, okay, Hashem, I'm with you. I'm making a move. Hashem's going to help you. And this specifically in these times of Sfirat Omer, a person who's going to work hard to get rid of all the tumah which is attached to him, to purify himself from all the let me just say something. All the concept of becoming pure, well, really, there's a lot of concept in Judaism of coming close. There's a separation between the pure and impure. That means there's always let's say a mix or a mess, a jumble, okay? And then we separate it. That's purification. We get rid of the psolet and we're left with the pure. It's like purifying silver or gold. You have impurities and you clean it. Now, there's also a Kabbalistic concept of every mitzvah we do, we separate it. And that's what I'm talking about now over here. In the period of time of the Omer, we separate ourselves from our natural dynamic animalistic desires, and we give that to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we detach ourselves, that's how you come plural. That's v'kidashtem v'tiartem. That's the main purpose of all the Chagim. That's why Hashem gave us these times, and Hashem helps us to elevate ourselves. And that's how we reach the Bechina of Adam. Adam of Behemah Toshia. We turn the Behemah into Adam. When we control ourselves, right? Animals don't have any control. Right? You can't tell a dog, you wave him a bone and say, okay, control yourself. Not getting enough. Bug bites you until he takes off. Yeah, there's no control of him. That's animal. Doesn't control himself. Man controls himself. What do you control it for? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, I want to share with you a fantastic story. Now we're doing story time. That was the learning part. Now we're going to do stories. First story, I have to share this with you. I heard this from Goel. He heard it from a bus driver. When a person wants to do something for Hashem, Hashem helps him. Unbelievable story. Okay, I wanted to share with you last week. We had run out of time, but look at it. He heard this directly from the bus driver. There was a bus driver in France. He was a tour guide. Now he's explaining, he tells us a story that he had a whole group of Hasidim on the bus. Yeah, I don't know where they were going in France, but they were in France, Marseille. And it comes to Shkia time, and the Hasidim go, what do they want to do? They want to pray Mincha. So they tell the driver, listen, we need to pray. So he's driving, okay, pray. He said, no, we can't pray like this. So what do you mean? He said, we need to do Netilat Yadayim, we need to go to the bathroom, we have to become clean from our bodies and go to pray. Because what do you want me to do? We're on the highway. Tachana Delek. stop at the petrol station. Right, there's always bathrooms there. We're going to go, we'll wash our hands, we'll pray mincha. Yeah, so you guys are crazy. We're in the middle of France, Marseille, you want to do mincha, you know, you're not in Israel over here. It's not, you're not in a, you're in a different country. And look how you all dressed Hasidim, yeah? You stand out. We are praying mincha. We are paying, you're driving, you get to the petrol station, you stop. Now there's traffic. Okay, with traffic. They're not going to make it back to the hotel on time. He pulls over at the bus stop. Okay, at the petrol station. Now they're all getting ready. Now you see the Hasidim when they get ready to pray, they wash their hand upon the gartel. Gartel in English is a belt. They have got a special belt that they pray. It's a beged for tefillah. It's a special thing. It separates your upper body from your lower body. Your lower body is where you're physically, where you eat and where you dispose of your food. The higher body is your heart, where you speak, your mind, your more elevated side of you, right? Listen to the story. They're getting ready for mincha. Suddenly pulls over a big motorbike, Harley Davidson. Huge guy comes out with the leather jacket, you know, and big hair, and he looks frightening. This is how they say he looks frightening. Now they said that they warned him. You're Hasidim, you're in a European country, not everybody likes you, you're asking for trouble, okay? And then this guy got scary and he drove straight up to them with his big motorbike. And he takes off there and he's heading straight towards them. Big, and he's scary, right? And they're looking, what does he want? And he's coming, you know? And then he says in a accent of Mea Sa'orim Hasidim, Minche, Minche, this guy, he looks like a monster, and he's shouting out, Minche, Minche. And he's like, yeah, we're davening Mincha. Okay, yeah, who's Chazan? Who's going to be Shliach Tzibur? Chavod, yeah? And then the guy is saying Kaddish. This guy from France just gets off his motorbike, joins them, starts saying Kaddish. Okay, so they do the Mincha, they come, listen, where did you come from? You know, you don't look like the guy who's waiting, pray for Mincha. Yeah? He said, I'll tell you the story. Okay. I was born in Yerushalayim. Okay, I don't know if he was born in a Hasidic family, but he was born in a religious family, Orthodox. And he said, listen, I didn't like being religious. It wasn't for me. I left. I went to Europe. I was with Goyot, and I came back, and however much my family cried for me and said, listen, what you're doing to yourself, what you're doing to your neshama, what are you doing? I said, I don't care. I don't care. I'm enjoying my life. This is what I want to do. He said, my father came to me, and he was crying many times. Yeah, he would never give up, but he tried. And he said to me, listen, my son, this is when he was already dying. He said, when I'm dying, I just want you to do Kaddish for me, please. And I said to my dad, what, you want me to say Kaddish? He said, listen, you don't want me to say Kaddish. He said, what I put in my mouth, I eat all the animals and crawlies and creatures and the nevelot and trefot and everything I eat. I put everything in my mouth. You don't want my mouth to say Kaddish for you. It's better that I don't say Kaddish for you. You don't know what I eat everything that's treif, I eat it. And the father said to him, Kanireh zeh Kaddish magi'ali. Means that's the Kaddish I deserve. If that's what I deserve, then that's what I deserve. And I don't ask you to do it every day, just do it once a year on the day of your time. I said to my dad, okay, that's what you want to do it. And I did it. And today I woke up in Paris and I was planning to go to Marseille. Now, I don't know how far it is, 700 kilometers from Paris to Marseille.
It's 9 hours.
How long?
9 hours.
Okay, so it takes about 9-10 hours to go on a motorbike from Paris to to Marseille. And I said to myself in the morning, as I was getting on my bike ready for this, I got up to get down to Marseille. And I realized today is the day of my dad. My dad's Yortzeit. I said, I'm supposed to say Kaddish. I said, where am I going to find that Kaddish? I said, I need to start going. I can't, I need to get there before dark. And I said, okay, but what about I promised my dad? I can't just find the synagogue on the way, from Paris to Marseille. Where am I going to find the synagogue? So I said to myself, I said to God, listen, if you're the God of the world and you're in charge, so if you care about my Kaddish and it's important for you, so you sort it out that I have a minyan. And if you don't really care about my Kaddish, then I don't really care either. And I got my bike and off I went. And I saw that it's already getting near to Shkia. It's getting dark and the day's over and the whole day. So I said, okay, Hashem, obviously you don't really want my Kaddish. Fine. And then I'm driving here and I see this traffic jam. And sometimes it's a big traffic jam for hours. And I'm on my motorbike, I'm cutting through traffic, in between, the motorbikes go, in between all the buses, right? And I see by gas and I see here just before it gets dark, or 10 minutes before Shkia, and I see a group of Hasidim. And I said, this is sent for me. So I put it over my bike and I came over here and I said, Kaddish. Look at this story, Abotai. The whole of Marseille needs to be on a traffic jam to stop the Hasidim to getting back to the hotel with their bus in time for Mincha, just so that they pull over and start praying Mincha, so that one Jew that eats taref can say Kaddish for his father on the day of his yahrzeit. That is what Hashem is willing to do. And this is a message here we're saying. You want to come and do the right thing, Hashem is going to help you. You have to be genuine and honest with it. And that's really amazing for me. You see this. So we're going to say some stories for Bar Yochai, but maybe we'll give you what you want story. Bar Yochai is, Baomer is a happy day. Why is Baomer a happy day? It's a very happy day. It's very unusual that the day of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the day of a tzaddik, but it's big simcha, and it says all the Sfarim talk about the happiness of this day. What happened on Baomer?
Magefa stopped.
Magefa stopped. Yes. What else happened on Baomer?
It's not the Ilula. It's not he passed away.
According to many opinions, it was also the Ilula of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. But the main thing of the happiness is that it stopped the days of the Talmidim dying. Do you know how many people come to Meron on Baomer? Anybody know the number?
It's 100,000.
100,000, 200,000. I remember last year they said the figures, not last year, but 2 or 3 years ago, before. They said, over 300,000 people during the day coming. Now, I don't know if you've ever been there, and I was there at 3 in the morning. Yeah, and I thought, okay, no one's going to go at 3 in the morning. I'll be there like on my own, right? You cannot imagine the enormous crowds that are there.
Even in Rosh Chodesh, there, it's amazing.
Yeah,
we used to go in Rosh Chodesh.
Yeah, Rosh Chodesh is a special day to pray in Kivrei Tzadikim, Erev Rosh Chodesh specifically, or Tedvav LaChodesh. But Rabbi Shimon, there's something special that you see all Am Yisrael going there. Why does everyone go there? Now, I'm just reading. I've got this whole book of stories. Unbelievable. There's just endless amount of stories over here about the Gedula and the Simcha of Kedusha of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So let's maybe start off, just talk about the Inyan of the day. We'll do 5 minutes about this, okay? So the Torah was given to to the Talmidim of Rabbi Shimon on this day. With his lenient to light bonfires. Fires, so for a normal tzaddik, we light a candle. For Rabbi Shimon, it's not enough a candle, we light a whole medura, bonfires, and it's bonfires everywhere. And it's a big segula. The fire says, Kol Devai Esh. It says, Kiner mitzvah Torah. Torah is a light. And in the day when Rabbi Shimon died, the whole house was covered with fire when he was teaching Torah. And he taught most of his sodot, his secrets of the Torah, he revealed on the day of Baomer, and the fire came out. So there's a lot of fire involved, and that's why we light these fires. Now, I just want to say this story. I read this, is mind-boggling. Reb Chaim Vital talks about one of the Talmidim that used to say every day in Mincha, Rabbi Avraham Alevi, דרכו היה לגמור כל יום תפילה נחם אבלי ציון, which means comfort, nachem, the mourners of Jerusalem, Avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. Every day in Mincha, that was his prayer. And he said that on Baomer. And he says that Arizal said, they came, when he woke up, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came to him in a dream. And he said, who is your Talmid that is saying this tefillah of mourning on the day of Baomer? Baomer is a chag. Baomer is a day you'll be happy, of simcha. You should be happy on the day. And he said that this year, that Talmid, that year, he was a mourner. He became a mourner and he buried one of his sons. That's why it says Lord. And he said, everyone should be happy on this day. We said that the Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar, or Chaim HaKadosh, when he came to Har Meron, he got off the donkey and walked up the mountain crying, how can I be here on the Har HaKadosh of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? And there's many miracles told of stories of people go to pray and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai for children, for refuah shlema, open miracles. Open miracles. I'm going to share with you maybe two short stories. And we see. He said one here, I've just got like actual events, but they tell me like the years that happened exactly on the year of Tafshin Ayin Zayin. This is you just read it and then you just understand how you don't believe how can it be true, and you see many of them.
Is that Tafshin Ayin Zayin?
Tafshin Ayin Zayin, how many years ago? It was 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago. This story here from Tafshin Ayin Vav, Tafshin Pei. These documented stories of people every year happen. And you just think there's no way these stories can be true. And then you think, well, there's so many of them. And so many people go, they must be true. That doesn't make sense. How come so many people still go and so many are simcha? And when I went 2 years ago, and I'm talking about 3 a.m., I'm talking about people giving out food. Big tents of like 1,000 people.
By the way, I sent you the link, yeah, for when you go tomorrow.
For Bibi Nachem.
Yeah, I've sent you the.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You just can't imagine like big tents, like which looks like a hotel, yeah, with food. 1,000 people just come and eat. How much do you want? I was one there, and they're just the beginning. Meat, barbecue, yeah, burgers and schnitzel, just being grilled, hot or thing. You just come and eat meat, just meat. There's no bread. There's just one place, which is just meat. There's not a place. All different types of food and drinks and it's big simcha, big simcha. You can't imagine it. And everywhere you go, it's not like one of them. There's like hundreds of them. You think like where, ask somebody on the way, like what we're going to eat. Because what are you worried about? You don't know where you're going. Yeah. Just every corner, there's just people giving you like avatiach, people giving you drinks, people giving just take food and be happy with simcha, music everywhere. It's an amazing experience. But let me just tell you 2 stories. So, Tafshin Ayin Zayin, Avrech said he went to one of the Chachamim. The doctors discovered in the year Tafshin Ayin Vav, that means this was a story from 4 years ago. 5 years ago, they discovered that he had the illness spreading inside him, cancerous. He decided that he's going to have an operation to save his life. All his family went to Meron. They lived in Israel. They went to Meron to pray. He read Sefer Tehillim. They're crying there. He said they just finished reading the Tehillim. The next day he did a scan. He's clean. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Another story. from one of his friends. He's telling the story, Rabbi Bidaman. His grandson, he's flying back from the States, and his son, his 3-year-old son, brings him back to America. After they did a chalakah, they cut his hair in Meron. And so this child, he had problems. He didn't develop. He was 3 years old, and he wasn't talking yet. Normal child at the age of 1, 2 years old starts talking. He wasn't even walking. And walking is even before that. By 1 year already walking. By 1 year walking, by 2 years talking. And he was 3 years old, he wasn't doing that. And he was still in nappies at the age of 3. They went to pray Rabbi Shimon with his child. So on the way, on the plane, 2 miracles happened in one go. The child opened his mouth, said, "Mommy, I need to go to the bathroom." That was the first time the baby is talking, the child's 3 years old, and he asked to go to the bathroom. And he was just crying. This child's underdeveloped. Another story, Tafshin Ayin Zayin. He talks about a family from Chassidut Biyan in Yerushalayim. They went from France and they were in a car accident. And they fell down to the mountain and they were trapped inside the car. Until the rescuers came, they cut open the car and they took him out, and he was, I don't know how it affected his legs, but they gave him crutches. And the expert told him, listen, it's affecting your legs, it's affecting your body. You want to decapitate your legs, cut off your 2 legs. And in order to save your life so that you live. That's what they said to him. He said, I'm not cutting my legs. Thank you for your advice. I'm not doing that. They gave him his crutches and he was walking with crutches. He said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he said, Hashem, if you give me my legs back, I'm going to use my legs to dance khatuna. When I see this khatan mekala, I'm going to go dance for them, make them happy. Right, when you see someone dancing and he's happy for you, and he's joining your simpa, it makes you happy. That's a big mitzvah to dance before khatan mekala. He said they were by the bonfire of Baomer. Okay, this is the year Tafshin Ayin Zayin, 4 years ago. He was in there and they're all dancing around and they're singing Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. By the way, you should know the song of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It's not just a happy song or a catchy song. There's a lot of deep secrets in the song of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the written by Rabbi Shimon Bar Levi. We read it every Shabbat, Erev Shabbat. It's Big Segula. Big Segula also for Shalom Bayit. It's a Big Segula for other things as well. And there's another song which is written by the Ben Ish Chai, also Al-Pisod. When I'm talking about Al-Pisod, each paragraph is according to the different sfirot and different olamot. And when you sing it, it uplifts your neshama. He writes here that when he was singing this Bar Yochai, he felt elevated. He told his brother, I'm throwing my crutches into the fire. This is what he said. Listen to the story. He said his brother's holding him. And before he realized that he's not even joking, he's already walking towards the fire. Singing Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he throws it in. Throws one in, and his brother's trying to stop him throwing the other one. He said, listen, I've got his responsibility. Then throw a crutches in there. He sees a burning, he chucks the other one in. He starts dancing. He starts dancing Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai started dancing. He was in one shot. He said, that's it, it's all over. There's no doctors, there's nothing. He said, I'll be be'emunah, I'm son of Legis. And he said he kept his promise. And from then on, he always used to go to the weddings, he used to dance for Khatan al-Kara. And it goes on. I can't tell you, there's like pages and pages and pages and hundreds of stories. And there's another good one. We're running out of time there. But that's what I wanted to share with you. The Simcha of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It's a day of happiness. It's not a day to be sad. Treat yourself out. Eat good, you and your family. Be happy. Light candle for Rabbi Shimon. And pray. This is a time for tefillot. And he writes here, even people who can't go to Meron. But even far away from Meron, when you're lighting your candle for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, do your tefillah. Sing Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Gamatim Kolachai, and Shachta Ashecha. And if you want to send me your names, I have a ticket. B'ezrat Hashem tomorrow night. I'll plan to go again to Meron. I will also mention the names for you. So there's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So we started late, so I'm going to carry on just a few more minutes. I have a story about Zikui Rabin. This story was sent to me by my mom. B'ezrat Hashem, a big schut for her. And
she's listening, you know that.
And she's listening now. Okay,
She's listening.
Okay, so I'm going to tell her maybe a surprise, something she doesn't know. What is the Zikui Rabin? So she shared me this following story. This couple, after 8 years not having children, they went to Rabbi David Minaria. Rabbi David, son of Rabbi Meir Abu Chatzar, grandson of Baba Sali. He's known for many, many miracles as well, but full of emunah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The couple came to him, they were waiting. Now, you wait, sometimes you can wait for a long time. I think I was there maybe once for 40 minutes, or once for 2 hours. And then that's normal. As they were going to go in to see Rabbi David, he's getting up and he's like walking out. Right? You have sometimes just a few seconds with him. And he said to them, you want a zechut to have children? Zikui Rabin. Zikui Rabin means meriting other people. Give other people merit. And they were shocked because they actually came to ask for children. Now, when you ask for children, they say, we're 8 years asking for children, and we tried all the doctors, we tried all the miracles in Nisim, and we need something. What to do now? And they didn't even ask. We need children, and he already told them this is what you need to do. You should know that. The en ma'ala gedola mimeno zikui rabin. Zikui rabin, when you merit somebody else. And what do? They said, okay, we're going to do it. They started off a program, Avotu Banim. What does it mean, Avotu Banim program?
The study together.
That's it. The parents study with the children. You offer the children prizes, you give them treats. They come, they want to learn. The parents learn. Sometimes the children learn more than the parents. Sometimes parents learn more than the children. But everyone is learning. And learning Torah, it's a big schut. The woman opened up Tehillim for children, for girls. Again, give them prizes. They come, they say Tehillim. And they got everybody involved. And they came back a year later. And Rabbi David was a sandak for their son. He said, the en malak de la mimena. I'll tell you, Rabbi, well, the biggest zechut that you can give to somebody is to teach them Torah, limud Torah, learn with them Torah. When you learn Torah, that's the biggest thing you can do for yourself and for Am Yisrael. But Torah is not just one mitzvah. We've been learning now for the past hour on Zoom. Every second, every word that we talk, that we hear, that we're talking about Divrei Torah, we're thinking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our neshama is elevated. We grow better, we come better. And everyone knows that when they go to a shiur for a long time, for a couple of years, yeah, it's a different life. With and without Torah, we're not the same people. The biggest chesed you can do to somebody else is to give them that Torah. Right? You can give somebody a meal to eat. They'll say, thank you very much for the meal you fed me for today. You can find somebody a job, you give them food for every day to support themselves. It's a big chesed. When you teach somebody Torah, you transform them. And not only transform them, you transform their family and their future. So if you can give a shiur, give a shiur. But if you're not on level to give a shiur, invite somebody to shiur. You're coming to a shiur, bring a friend. Send a message, I'm coming, you want to meet, let's hang out tonight. Okay, so people hang out, they come to watch the football, they have their snacks. Okay, so let's do shiur Torah. We'll bring the drinks, we'll bring the snacks. That's how we used to do it in the beginning. I remember Joe always used to bring a friend, bring food. Yeah, that's how you do it. This is the way of Zikui Rabin. You cannot underestimate the power of Zikui Rabin. You don't know where it's going to lead to. And now I'm just going to say maybe the surprise of the evening. And I remember, now today I'm Rabbi Netanel. Yeah, I wasn't always like this, Rabbi Netanel. In my teenage years, a person looking for friends. Where do friends take you? Your friends take you. And I used to go to places to enjoy that. And I remember one time my friend said to me, you want to come and learn? I was like, we're going to learn? Tell me we're going to football. Tell me we're going to fun, something, yeah. We're going to go out there. You want to go to learn? Yeah, come, I'm going to learn. I was like, okay, he's my friend. Oh, I'll go. But if you want to go, I'll go. I remember that's how I started. And we came one evening, and in the beginning, I just came for a hangout. And then I came and I enjoyed it. I saw the beauty of the Torah. And I came even when my friend didn't come. And I enjoyed it. And since then, I enjoyed the Torah. I went to learn in yeshiva, and I came attached, and I saw the beauty. And everything's just because that one friend said to me, come, let's go learn together. Would you believe that? Imagine he wouldn't have said that to me. Oh, David today. I have a lot of akarat for him. Yeah. Now he's in America, he's a different country, he started a business. Baruch Hashem, I wish him all the best. But this is Hashem gave him the zchut. You don't know where he can go, where he can live. You send a message, you invite a friend, and you have this is a time when you send a text. Come, join a link, send them a link. Or you're going to sit down. Yeah, not any shiur, to my shiur, but any shiur. Come down, have drinks, have snacks, enjoy yourselves together. Yeah, it's a big zchut. And at that time, when you invite a friend, it's et ratzon. Et ratzon means there's a time to ask for tefillah. You say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm doing this for you. Please, I need the Yeshua. That's the time to pray. And Hashem listens to prayers. And we said that the story that we said today, let's just remember, every person is important. Hashem cares about every single person. Even about the person that doesn't care about Hashem, Hashem cares about him. He said, Hashem, listen, the importance of the Kaddish. In France, all the Goyim had to stand in the traffic jam just to hear his Kaddish once a year for his father, which he didn't even care about so much about. But Hashem did that because I want to hear your Kaddish. That's why Hashem says, I want to see your effort. This is in the spirit of Omer. We have to go out of our boundaries, step out a bit of our comfortable zone. Okay, and maybe he says, listen, I'm busy, I can't tonight. Okay, fine. Nothing wrong with that. I offered. Maybe someone else, maybe another time. Someone says, okay, we have Thursday night. Can we come over Thursday night? And you think, oh, Thursday night, I've got the shiur. Yes, come Thursday night, come watch me. And then, maybe we'll talk beforehand. Maybe we'll talk afterwards, after the shiur. We'll be happy, we'll enjoy it, we'll feel good. And then we'll sit down for the meeting. That's the idea. That's the plan, how it goes. So, B'ezrat Hashem, I hope you all enjoyed the shiur tonight. And B'ezrat Hashem, you should be happy on like Baomer with the family. We should all be zocher to Yeshuot, B'ezrat Hashem. Philly will remember the lessons for today of coming out of the Omer, counting the Omer, what we're supposed to be doing from leaving our animalistic side, coming more to humans, B'ezrat Hashem. And be ready for Kabbalat Torah. As Chut Rabbi Shimon, we should all have Yeshuot, B'ezrat Hashem. Looking forward to seeing you all next week, B'ezrat Hashem, with your friends. Wish you all good night and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Enjoy.